and then they came for wargaming. Yes, this is the Board Game Geek crew. And Board Game Geek is one of the worst websites out there. It really sucks how much they lean into political activism and attack their own player base so much. Board games really is a family hobby, and war games really is a hobby that lends itself towards right-wing players, and they know this, so they honestly want the entire end of the hobby to be canceled. This has been something that the activists have done for a long, long time. If you've looked at the conventions that they're doing, especially in America with Gen Con and Origins Game Fairs, it's run by like the blue-haired weirdos at this point. They ban anybody who dissents from them, and Board Game Geek does the same as a website. We reported on it a lot before. There's a moderator over there who's just an extreme leftist who really takes things personally and just goes absolutely crazy. He's canceled people before, including myself, and it's silly what happened when I got canceled. But this cancellation might even be sillier. It's like just because of the theming of the game, they're just triggered. And this is normal course in the board game industry. If you've not seen it, it's just as bad as everything else. And we're about the only place that reports on it at this point. So this is a game called The Other Side of the Hill. It's by a Spanish developer, and it looks pretty cool. It's just a war game, very, very, war game looking with things. If you don't know the way these things look, they look very mechanical because they are. They always develop interesting mechanics for these type of games beyond a lot of other board games. And they don't really focus on the visuals so much. It's usually just a map and some stuff like this. And they're in trouble with the woke. But we're going to cover it and talk about why it's stupid in just a moment. My name's John Delarose, everybody. Please hit the like and subscribe button. We talk about board gaming on this in the culture war and other things in the culture war. We're about the only channel who covers this type of thing. And I appreciate you guys for being there. We've been fighting the good fight for a long time. Banned from GAMA, the Game Manufacturers Association in America here. Banned from all Dice Tower conventions by Tom Vassell because he literally can't even that we push back against the SJW narrative. So thanks, Dice Tower, for of course attacking Christian family men. That's a great thing that you do over there. That's the I guess the message. And I'm also banned from Kickstarter now. So over the weekend, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was because of our board game coverage at the Christian board game last week. But Kickstarter banned me as I was about to launch my very overtly Christian book here, The Emerald Array, which is a Space Marine science fiction deal. So our Space Marines, which are all strong male leads, have to be sent out to fight these like alien demonic bee creatures, the Xenos, and they have to go and purge a hive that is upsetting a colony world, killing a lot of the colonists, and they want to save the Imperium. So it's a lot of fun. We designed the art style very 1970s, Jack Kirby, like Saturday morning cartoon stuff that you'd enjoy from like G.I. Joe or Transformers for a reason. We want to present a future because a lot of the modern stuff is super dark. That is, has something that feels like the fun factor that we used to have in culture that they don't have anymore. And our last campaign was such a huge success. This is not a tourist sort of thing. We've done 12 plus of these. And Kickstarter took notice, and so they banned us. And so this is out 2 days in, 151 backers. That's a huge testament to how great this community is, because we are building this on Fund My Comic, which is a pro-free speech site. They're really awesome. I really love those guys, and I really appreciate you guys for backing. Grab this book today. It's in the description below. Support alternative culture. Really appreciate you guys supporting our channel, too. Means a lot to us. All right, so let's get into The Other Side of the Hill, which again funded on crowdfund, and they're stirred up as a cancel mob on Board Game Geek. So it's a board game that actually simulates the effects of struggles for power within the German High Command in the development of the Second World War. You play as like industrialists. You play as like anti-Nazi folk inside things. They seem to be actually pretty careful about not making this like some sort of like yay fash kind of thing, which of course is what they do in Europe. But that's not enough for the Inquisition. And so just touching on these themes, touching on history is something that triggers these people so much at this point. We've seen this in board gaming before. A couple years ago, we reported on an expansion for a game called Viticulture. And Viticulture had a South American expansion, and it's a game about like wine development. It's really innocuous. And of course, a lot of the wine development in South America came from the Spanish conquistadors who brought the grapes over and planted the crops and got things going over there. So they had conquistador cards, and the indigenous peoples, like some board game reviewers, flipped out. And they actually canceled the cards, and actually the woke guy who runs that company apologized and changed the game, all because of these weirdos out there. Now, this is happening with this game as well with Board Game Geek. They're out there, and so what happened was they came out with this NAC War Games little deal that if you were a backer of their crowdfund, this is something that you get a little Iron Cross pin right here. Now, naturally, they flipped the heck out about this, saying, this is literal Nazi. And I guess what happened is there's a big board game convention in Germany. Is the developer had a few of these left over, and they handed a couple out at Spiel Essen this year as they're promoting their new game. And so, naturally, in comes the Inquisition. What's really funny about this is they're flipping out about the literal Nazis, fascists, and they don't understand that like the whole tenets of fascism really is that fascism is about silencing your political opponents. And so they do the same thing here. They try to silence anybody who does anything at this juncture. It's a bad deal. It is something that's nasty in board gaming, and they keep continuing on this level. So you can see already, like, they go rather untasteful at best given the context of the game, ... And they do these little ... dots to be like, oh, this is a bad thing. Oh, this is a terrible thing. And you see, like, they even talk about, is this even legal in Germany? Like, they try to make it like a criminal action to make a little token for a board game. Like, how stupid is this? And it goes further. This is where they go full cancel pig. This guy goes, why would the promo be distasteful, but not the game itself? So that means the game's going to be distasteful itself because of its theming, that the people involved in this are going to have their own problems. It is something what it is. And then next, it says, it might be worth mentioning the publisher apparently already seems to have a questionable reputation when it comes to these things. And there's another Board Game Geek thread where, of course, they tried to cancel this publisher before. And this is what they do. If you do not just like bow to the woke mob, if you're not a part of their whole like political agenda, if you're not pushing, diversity, if you're not signaling the DEI stuff all the way around, you're going to get canceled by these people. And the war game community is just, again, really not that infested as far as like, a small segment of board gaming goes. It's mostly a community of like older white men who do the wargaming type of thing. And so you just haven't seen this sort of thing very much because they don't interact much with the, like, I guess, general board game community, which is out there trying to cancel people all the time. Now, there were posts and already just, moderated on this thread on Board Game Geek where the moderators removed it, saying it was, disruptive, etc. So if you start defending the company, this is how they do this thing. It's a total commie situation over there, ironically. If you start defending anything about this sort of thing, if you just even make your points, they ban you. And I had this done to me when I was defending Ant Lab Games, or they're a wonderful board game couple, and they're Christians, and definitely subscribe to their channel if you love board games. And back in the day, they made a post like, this woman who works for Ant Lab made a video just saying, hey, women at board gaming, be careful out there. Don't go out alone around drunk people if just for your own safety at these conventions. Just some good tips for just living in general. And they flipped out on her, saying she's anti-woman, she's victim blaming, this type of thing. It was nuts. So I posted defending on them, and it got me banned from Board Game Geek just defending those people. This is how insane the board gaming community is. They mass report everybody. They try to cancel everybody. It's the same thing in all of these niche hobbies, in culture, in of course tabletop gaming like Warhammer 40K, in comics. Everybody's out there trying to control these small niches because they're all dwindling because they're just not catering towards the real audiences like this company appears to be doing. And they're trying to cater towards this like demographic that doesn't actually buy anything, all for their political points. It's really obnoxious, and we're going to call it out every single time. Now, this game looks pretty interesting, so check it out if it appeals to you. And thank you guys for watching the channel. Please check out our banned book, The Emerald Array. Kick's too hot for Kickstarter. Again, you're going to love this if you love wargaming, Space Marines, things like that. I draw from the classics, Poul Anderson, Robert Heinlein. I am one of the like avid science fiction readers. You'll really enjoy this. Thank you guys so much. It's in the description below. And please hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below with what you think about this. We'll be back soon.